We're here to unpack complex ideas, give you those surprising insights you need.
To be truly well-informed.
Exactly. Today, we're diving deep into something that, well, it shaped so many of our lives, often without us even noticing. That unconscious grip social media has on us. Feels super modern, right? But we're actually going back, way back, to Carl Jung, a giant of psychology.
Right.
And his ideas about something he called the shadow. It's amazing how relevant his work is, even though he was around long before Instagram.
It really is. And this deep dive, it's not just theory. We're aiming to give you, the listener, some actual tools.
Practical stuff.
Yeah, 3 concrete daily exercises, simple but powerful, designed to help you get some real freedom from what can feel like, digital servitude.
Yeah, that constant pull.
And look, the goal isn't necessarily quitting altogether. It's about moving from that compulsive scrolling to conscious, intentional use.
Making choices.
Precisely. We've even got a 21-day plan mapped out to help you weave these practices into your everyday life.
Okay, let's talk about this digital grip. The numbers alone are pretty, well, stark. They really show how widespread this is.
They do.
Think about this. The average person spends about 2.5 hours every single day on social media.
2.5 hours? That's a huge chunk of your day.
It really adds up. And get this one's really telling. 50%, half of people, check their phone within 10 minutes of waking up.
Wow. Before coffee, before anything?
Before anything. It's become this default morning ritual.
Yeah.
And what's really unsettling, I think, is the brain science behind it. Research shows the reward centers in your brain that light up for likes and notifications. They're strikingly similar to the ones involved in, like, drug addiction.
That's concerning. It's not just a habit then. It's almost tapping into something deeper, chemically.
Yeah, like a chemical craving.
Right. And then there's FOMO. Fear of missing out. That feeling is everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
A huge 70% of people experience it, often triggered directly by what they see others doing or, appearing to do online.
That curated perfection.
Exactly. These numbers, they aren't just stats. They're like signposts pointing to this complex psychological landscape we're all navigating, often unconsciously.
Okay, let's bring Jung into this. The shadow. It sounds kind of dark, doesn't it?
A bit ominous.
There's
Yeah.
something bad hiding. But Jung wasn't really talking about bad in that simple moral sense, was he?
No, not inherently evil or anything. He described the shadow as those parts of ourselves we just refuse to acknowledge.
The bits we don't like.
The bits we deem unacceptable or maybe inconvenient, so we push them down into the unconscious.
Okay. So how does social media become this perfect playground for all that hidden stuff to come out and play?
It's actually quite fascinating how well Jung's ideas map onto our digital lives. Social media acts like this giant mirror, often not a very flattering one.
Holding up the parts we don't want to see.
Precisely. So the shadow in social media, that's where those hidden desires, the things you'd maybe never act on in real life, find an easy outlet, often anonymously.
Right. Makes sense.
Then there's projection. That's a big one. It's when we see in other people the very things we deny in ourselves.
Like when you instantly judge someone's post.
Exactly. That quick judgment, that irritation, Jung would suggest it often mirrors something you're uncomfortable with in your own character. It's a reflection.
Huh. So reacting strongly to someone else's perceived flaw might actually be about my own insecurity.
Very often, yes. And the persona, that's another key piece. It's that carefully crafted, often idealized image we put out there online.
The highlight reel.
That's the perfect term for it. The highlight reel versus the messy reality of everyday life.
We curate the best bits, the person we wish we were, not always the real, sometimes struggling us.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
And finally, compensation. Social media often jumps in to fill the gaps.
Fill voids.
Yeah, to provide what feels missing or what we think we aren't getting enough of in our offline lives.
Can you give an example?
Sure. So, in simple terms, if you're quite shy, maybe reserved in person, you might find yourself becoming surprisingly outspoken, maybe even a bit narcissistic on Instagram or X.
Oh.
Or if you feel, say, unsuccessful in your career or daily life, you might meticulously post only about your achievements, even the small ones. That's the shadow at work. It's trying to balance things out by grabbing external validation for an internal feeling of lack.
I can definitely see that. The compensation thing feels very real. But is there, like, a healthy way to use social media for ambition? Or does it always slide into that that compensatory trap?
That's a really good question. It's not automatically negative. The danger zone is when that online performance starts to replace genuine self-worth or stops you from taking real-world action. It's about the underlying why, the motivation behind it.
Got it. So how would Jung look at this constant pull, this almost hunger for likes and comments?
He'd likely talk about unrealized libido. Now that sounds technical.
Yeah, a bit Freudian.
Well, Jung used the term differently. For him, it's that raw psychic energy, our basic life force. It's always looking for an outlet.
Yep.
So if your authentic channels for creativity or connection or self-expression are blocked or maybe just ignored, social media offers this easy, convenient release valve, likes, comments, shares. It's a quick hit, but often superficial.
Right, a temporary fix.
And if we zoom out, think about the collective unconscious. Jung's idea of this shared, inherited layer of the human psyche.
Universal symbols and stories.
Exactly. We can see it playing out in how quickly viral trends explode online. It's not just random fluff.
Really?
Yeah, often those trends tap into these deep, universal archetypal patterns or primal human urges we all share. They pull us in, sometimes without us fully getting why we're so drawn to them. It's that ancient pull.
That's a wild way to think about why some random meme just takes over everything for a week.
It is, and think about the hero archetype, that universal drive to strive, achieve, overcome. It pushes us to constantly show only our successes online, right? Our triumphs, our peak moments. We build this heroic narrative scared to show any weakness or, God forbid, failure.
The curated hero story.
Exactly. But then, what about the stuff we scroll through that's maybe less admirable? The gossip, the drama.
Yeah, the guilty pleasures.
Jung would point to the shadow archetype there. It draws us towards what some might call dirty content scandals, negativity, online fights. We might secretly consume it, maybe feel a bit ashamed, but we're drawn to it precisely because it represents parts of human nature or ourselves that we try to push away.
So it's all part of the unconscious trying to get our attention, even the messy stuff.
It's all trying to bring something hidden into the light. Okay, let's really ground this in today's world. Social media, like we said, it's this powerful mirror.
Reflecting our shadow back at us.
Right back at us, amplified. You see parts of yourself you didn't know were there or parts you actively tried to bury.
And it often comes out in our reactions, right?
Absolutely, that's where we spot it. One of the
Right.
most common ways. Hidden envy.
Oof, uncomfortable.
Yeah. You know that little flicker of satisfaction maybe when you see someone stumble online, even if you'd never admit it out loud?
Schadenfreude.
That's it. That's your shadow peeking out.
Yeah.
Or the flip side, leaving nasty, often anonymous comments under posts about other people's success.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Or just that constant draining comparison game. Our messy reality versus their perfect online life. Or, and this is classic, endlessly scrolling through the profiles of people you claim you don't even like.
Guilty. I've definitely felt that irritation seeing someone's perfectly organized closet. And then I have to stop and ask, is it really about their closet or my own feeling of chaos?
That's exactly the kind of reflection we're talking about. Then there's compensatory behavior. This is huge online.
Give us some examples.
Okay, think about posting those perfectly filtered, smiling photos when you're actually feeling really down, maybe battling depression.
Yeah.
The mask, precisely. Or showing off luxury stuff, fancy trips, when maybe you're struggling financially. We see with couples, too, posting about relationship bliss while things are actually falling apart offline.
Wow.
And, you know, the person sharing deep philosophical quotes while maybe feeling quite empty inside. That's compensation, trying to balance out that internal lack with an external image.
External validation for an internal void. Okay. And the last one.
Projection of personal complexes. This is when you're super critical of someone else's appearance, for example. Deep down, it might be a projection of your own insecurity about how you look, or judging someone else's lifestyle choices. Maybe that's projecting suppressed desires, things you wish you could do, and of course, trolling successful people online. Often that boils down to projecting feelings of inferiority.
It really is telling what we choose to attack or criticize most fiercely, isn't it?
It really is.
It makes that Jung quote hit differently in the digital age. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Social media, wow, it really is a perfect, if sometimes brutal, tool for self-understanding. If we choose to look.
If we choose to look. But it's not just our internal stuff driving this. There are modern triggers making it all more intense.
The algorithms.
The algorithms play a massive role. It's critical to understand how they're built to keep us hooked.
Yeah, they do it.
Well, they often show us content designed to provoke strong emotions, positive or negative, doesn't matter, as long as it gets a reaction.
Anger scrolling.
Anger scrolling, exactly. They create echo chambers, too, confirming our biases, making it harder to see our own shadow. And they encourage those impulsive clicks like share, comment, before we even think.
Right. That instant reaction.
And crucially, they expertly exploit our basic human wiring for FOMO and social comparison. That keeps us stuck in the scroll.
Okay, so we've got this pervasive shadow online, algorithms pouring fuel on the fire. It feels pretty overwhelming. But you mentioned tools earlier, practical steps. How do we actually start working with this? How do we integrate it?
Right, that's the key, integration. It's not just theory, it takes daily practice. Let's start with a morning routine, like a mental firewall before you even open an app. Exercise 1, the shadow detective.
Shadow detective, I like
It's
it.
short, just about 5 minutes. Every morning before you instinctively grab your phone and open social media, pause. Just pause.
Okay.
And ask yourself, what am I actually seeking right now? What feeling am I trying to get or maybe avoid by reaching for this digital hit? What am I trying to compensate for?
Putting on the detective hat first thing's a crucial pause.
Exactly. Here's the how-to. 1, pause. Really pause. Don't just autopilot to the app. 2, ask yourself, what's the feeling? Boredom, loneliness, anxiety, need for a quick distraction, a hit of validation. Name the feeling, 2. Ask yourself. 3, name the underlying need. Is it genuine entertainment, real connection? Or is it more like escaping problems? Be honest. 4, then make a conscious choice. Will scrolling actually give me what I need? Or is there maybe another way, an offline way, to meet this need right now? And I suggest jotting down your answers, just quick notes on your phone. Over a week, you'll start seeing really clear patterns about what triggers that initial urge.
That's a great morning practice. Okay, what about during the day when we're actually on social media?
That brings us to exercise 2, mirror of projections. This is where you find that gold in the shadow, like Jung said. When something in your feed triggers a strong reaction, irritation, envy, judgment, don't just swipe past.
That's the signal.
That's the signal. Your shadow is waving hello, trying to tell you something.
So what do we do when we notice that signal?
Okay, here's the technique. 1, notice the strong reaction. Feel it. Acknowledge it. Annoyance, jealousy, outrage, whatever it is. 2, pause and ask. Okay, what exactly triggered me? Was it the picture, the caption, the person? Get specific. 2, pause and ask. 3, look within. This is the key Jungian step. Is this quality I'm judging or this thing I'm envious of? Is it present in me somewhere? Am I denying this part of myself? What button did this push? 2, pause and ask. 4, then integrate. Okay, how can I accept this part of me? What's the message here? What unmet need is my shadow revealing through this reaction?
Can we walk through an example and make it super clear?
Definitely. Let's say your trigger is seeing a friend post photos from this amazing, super expensive vacation, and you feel the sharp pang of envy.
Okay, happens all the time.
Right. So the question is, why does this bother me so much? What's it really about for me? Your realization might be something like, wow, I really want adventure and travel too, but maybe I'm scared to spend the money, or I feel stuck, or I don't think I deserve it.
So it's not just about the friend's trip.
Exactly. The integration is acknowledging. My envy isn't really about them. It's a signal from my shadow pointing to my own unmet need for adventure, for freedom. Okay, what's one small step I could take towards my own adventure today?
That reframes those knee-jerk reactions completely, turns them into opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the third exercise?
Exercise 3, conscious consumption. This is your evening check-in. Takes about 10 minutes. It's about reviewing your digital day and pulling together the insights.
Consolidating the learning.
Yes. Here's the evening ritual. 1, daily review. Ask, okay, honestly, how much time did I spend scrolling today? What kind of content did I actually look at? Was it useful, fun, or just empty calories? 2, emotional check. How do I feel after using social media today? Uplifted, connected, or maybe drained, anxious, a bit resentful. Check your emotional residue. 3, shadow analysis. Which hidden needs popped up today? Did I seek validation, escape? Did I get sucked into gossip? Did I project onto others? How did the algorithms influence me? 4, gratitude. What did I learn about myself today? What insight did my shadow offer? What am I grateful for discovering?
And you mentioned a journal.
Yeah, to really make this stick, I strongly suggest creating a shadow journal. Super simple. Phone notes or a notebook, date, time spent online, main triggers, shadow discoveries, and maybe one small intention for tomorrow. It builds powerful awareness over time.
These 3 exercises sound like a solid foundation. Now, about that 21-day plan to really lock it in.
Yes, structure helps build habits. So Week 1, awareness, days 1 to 7. The whole focus here is just observation, no judgment. You're just gathering data on yourself.
Becoming a scientist of your own habits.
Exactly. Your tasks, track your screen time using those phone apps. The numbers don't lie. Do the shadow detective exercise every morning, non-negotiable. Note down your big emotional triggers during the day. Crucially, observe without beating yourself up. Just notice.
Okay, week 1 is about seeing clearly. What about week 2?
Week 2, integration, days 8-14. Now you start actively engaging with what you've observed. You're starting the inner work.
Getting hands-on.
Right. Tasks for week 2. Actively use the mirror of projections exercise. When triggered, dive into the why. Make a list of your top recurring digital triggers. What themes keep coming up? Start experimenting with meeting those needs offline. Need connection. Call a friend instead of scrolling. Need validation. Acknowledge your own small wins. Set 2-3 clear digital boundaries, like no phone an hour before bed, or no social media during meals. Small, achievable things.
Makes sense. Building momentum. Then week 3.
Week 3, transformation, days 15-21. This is about solidifying new habits and really integrating the shadow work. It might feel more intense, but the payoff is greater freedom.
Locking it in.
Tasks for the final week. Do the full conscious consumption evening analysis every night. Create your shadow profile, a list of all the hidden aspects, needs, and patterns you've uncovered about yourself. Practice shadow gratitude. Seriously, thank your shadow for the insights. It's a guide, not an enemy. Develop your personal social media strategy, your conscious plan for how you want to engage moving forward based on everything you've learned.
That's a really comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
How do you know if it's actually working?
Good question. We put together a quick transformation checklist for you to self-assess. Can I spot my digital triggers almost instantly? Like within a second? Do I understand the underlying needs I'm trying to meet via social media? Can I pause before reacting impulsively online? Have I started to accept, maybe even appreciate, those shadow aspects of myself? Do I feel like I'm using social media consciously now, not compulsively?
Okay.
If you're nodding yes to most of those, you're definitely making real progress towards conscious use and deeper self-awareness.
That checklist is super helpful. A clear way to gauge progress.
And you'll feel the difference, too. There are tangible signs of successful shadow integration.
Like what?
You'll likely find yourself judging others online less. That inner critic softens. You start noticing more beauty in just, regular everyday moments. You don't need constant external stimulation. You might feel genuine happiness for other people's successes without that immediate envy sting. You'll probably have more energy for real-life hobbies, relationships, and if you do post online, it's likely to feel more authentic, more you, less like a performance.
Those are really encouraging signs to look out for. Okay, so let's say someone's gone through the 21 days, they're feeling the shift. Are there ways to go even deeper?
Absolutely. For those who've mastered the basics and feel ready, we have a couple of advanced techniques. The first is a specific Jungian approach we call the digital fast, but with a twist.
Not just abstaining then.
No, it's about intense shadow work using a specific trigger. Here's how. 1. Select a past post, image, comment, something that really got under your skin and still kind of lingers. 2. Then engage in a dialogue with the creator of that post. Not literally, mentally, or write it down. It's a conversation with your projection onto them. 3. Ask questions of that projected image. What are you trying to show me about myself? What part of me are you highlighting? What lesson do you hold? 3. Ask questions of that projected image. 4. Find the message. The Jungian idea is that every trigger, however annoying, is a teacher holding a key insight for your growth.
Wow, that sounds intense, talking to the trigger.
It can be very revealing. And another technique is archetypal analysis.
Looking at the universal patterns.
Exactly. You look at your own social media presence. What dominant archetypes are you playing out online? Are you mainly the hero, always showing achievement?
Or the lover, focusing on relationship.
Right, or the sage, sharing wisdom. The jester, using humor. The caregiver, always supporting others. We all lean towards certain archetypes.
These are like the default roles we fall into.
Unconsciously, yes. So the key reflection question becomes, which archetype am I maybe suppressing in my real life or even online? Which part of myself isn't getting expressed? How can I integrate that for a more balanced, whole sense of self?
That adds another really rich layer to self-understanding through this digital lens.
Yeah.
It brings us back to Jung, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That powerful quote.
Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
Exactly. And what we've explored today really shows that social media doesn't have to be this inescapable fate controlling us. It can be a tool, even a profound one, for self-knowledge,
if we learn to use it consciously, if we engage with our shadow.
Right.
And remember, the aim isn't perfection. It's not about never feeling envy again or becoming some social media saint. It's about integrating all of it, the light and the shadow, into a more whole, more psychologically aware person.
That's a great perspective. Integration, not perfection.
We really hope these exercises empower you on that journey. And speaking of integration, next time on the deep dive, we're tackling another fascinating Jungian concept, anima integration, fixing your dating patterns. We've got some really eye-opening self-analysis exercises lined up for that one.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
So if you're ready to keep exploring, keep growing towards that psychological wholeness and more conscious living, definitely subscribe to the deep dive. Don't miss out.
And for anyone wanting to go even deeper on today's topic, we highly recommend checking out C.G. Jung's own work, maybe start with Man and His Symbols. Also, Maria Tart's Encounter with the Shadow is excellent, and Robert Johnson's Owning Your Own Shadow is very practical.
Great resources.
And of course, keep using those screen time apps and maybe explore some meditative practices specifically designed for shadow work. They can be really supportive on this path.